What if Adam Peters' next move isn't just a trade, but a decision that could strengthen the biggest rival in the division, with the Philadelphia Eagles gearing up? Now with A.J. Dillon alongside Saquon Barkley, the reigning NFC champions, backfield already looks like a nightmare. But what would happen if the Commanders were the ones responsible for making it even more dangerous? Austin Ekler is still in Washington, but the buzz is loud. Trade rumors, roster overhaul, and even Brian Robinson Jr. has been mentioned. And with the draft approaching, anything can happen. But here comes the big question. Would it be worth trading with the Eagles? Ekler is no ordinary name. Before arriving in D.C., he had already racked up 475 receptions, over 4,000 receiving yards and 30 touchdowns, numbers that put many wide receivers to shame. In 2021, he scored 20 touchdowns in a magical season. Even while dealing with injuries in 2024, he still averaged 4.8 yards per carry and was named All-Pro as a So why would Washington consider such drastic changes in the backfield? On Philly's side, the excitement is obvious. Jalen Hurts would gain a cerebral weapon for the short game, especially on third downs and in the red zone. Dillon hits hard, but doesn't have Ekler's route-running finesse and versatility. An offense with Hurts, Barkley, Ekler, A.J. Brown, and Devonta Smith sounds like a video game, and that's exactly what the Eagles want to turn into reality. Ekler's contract, with a cap hit of just $4.9 million, wouldn't be an obstacle. But is it really worth giving up one of the league's most complete RBs to reinforce a direct rival? It's the kind of decision that could define the course of the season, for better or for worse. So, fan, would you trade Ekler to the Eagles? Comment down below and let us know what you'd do if you were in Adam Peters' shoes. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to the Commanders Fan News Today channel. Drop a like and activate the bell so you don't miss any updates. But this isn't just a matter of on-field talent. This possible trade with the Eagles raises another fundamental question. What is Washington's true intention on this season? If the goal is to rebuild and invest in youth, then moving Ekler, a 29-year-old veteran, does make sense, especially if it opens space for a high draft pick or a promising running back. But if the aim is to compete already in 2025, letting go of such a productive and versatile player could be a step in the wrong direction. And there's still the emotional factor. Austin Ekler arrived in D.C. wanting to prove he still has a lot to offer, a quiet, experienced leader who could be key for the adaptation of a new quarterback or maintaining balance in the locker room. Trading this kind of player could send a controversial message to the rest of the roster. Are we rebuilding or aiming to compete now? On the fan side, patience has limits. After years of rotating quarterbacks, poorly planned trades, and frustrating seasons, Commanders fans want clarity. They want strategy. They want identity. That's why trading with the Eagles isn't just a matter of logic. It's a matter of vision for the future. Giving Ekler to Philadelphia might be the equivalent of handing a loaded weapon to the enemy. And that doesn't align with the new mentality Adam Peters promised to build in Washington. The NFL is a league of quick, cold, strategic decisions. But sometimes, what seems like a good move behind the scenes can become a nightmare on the field. So, Commanders Nation, would you trust the Eagles with a weapon like Ekler? Or would you rather keep the veteran as a pillar of experience for this new phase of the team? Drop your opinion in the comments. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to the Commanders Fan News Today channel. Leave that like and turn on notifications to stay up to date with everything happening in Washington. Here, the fan's voice always comes first. And now, speaking as a Commanders fan, look, trading Austin Ekler to any team would already make me uneasy, but sending him to the Eagles? That's too much. The guy still has gas in the tank, is smart, versatile, a true wild card on offense. Even as a backup, Ekler is the kind of player who can win a game on a single play, whether through a short pass, an outside run, or even in returns. And that's what scares me, imagining him doing all that in Philly green against us. We spent years watching the front office make rush decisions, giving away talent or betting on players who didn't fit. Now that we have a front office that seems to know what it's doing, I hope they don't make the mistake of strengthening the division's biggest rival, especially with a player who can make such an immediate impact. If the idea is to open space on the roster, fine, but make it a smart trade, preferably outside the NFC East, and make sure it brings real value, whether in the draft or a young piece that can grow with the team. Otherwise, we'll spend the whole season watching Ekler highlights just from the wrong side of the rivalry. Being a Commanders fan means living with passion, but also with hope. And this new era needs to begin with firm, strategic decisions and, above all, awareness of what we're building. The truth is we're no longer in that phase where the Commanders accepted any offer just to look active. This is a new era, and it needs to be respected by us, by the league, and most importantly, by our division rivals. Letting Ekler go to Philly would send a confusing message. It would suggest we're still trying to find our path, while the Eagles are gearing up for another Super Bowl run. And honestly, we've seen this movie before, and it always ends with us asking, why help the team that's already on top? Adam Peters came in promising long-term vision. So now is the time to show that Washington has learned from the past, that it knows how to value what it has, and that it understands the weight of every move, especially when it involves one of the league's most dangerous offenses. You can't ignore what Ekler still brings to the table. And if you're going to move him, it better be in a trade that represents progress, not setback. Sending him to Philadelphia is not progress. It's giving up a trump card and handing ammunition to the enemy. And between us, fan, we don't want to see the Eagles soaring high while we're stuck on the ground. It's time to turn this game around, to make trades that strengthen us, not the others. So yes, I'm totally against sending Ekler there. If he's going to be traded, it needs to be with intelligence, strategy, and respect for what the fans deserve. So, did you like the analysis? If you agree or disagree, drop your thoughts below. Your opinion is essential to keep this debate alive, and of course, if you want to keep following everything happening in Washington with passion, information, and a true fan's perspective, subscribe now to Commanders Fan News Today. Smash that like button and turn on notifications. Here, the blood is burgundy and gold, and our hearts beat strong for DC. Because at the end of the day, being a Commanders fan is about resilience. It's about believing that even when everything seems against us, we rise up, adjust the helmet, and get back on the field. We don't bow our heads, and we don't hand over talent on a silver platter to our rivals. And that's exactly why decisions like this need to be made with more than just numbers and performance reports. They need to be made with identity, with an understanding of rivalry, with a long-term vision. Because building a winning culture isn't just about assembling a roster. It's about protecting what's been built and knowing where you want to go. If Adam Peters truly wants to transform this franchise, then he needs to start now, with bold choices, with conviction, with the awareness that every piece that leaves or stays shapes what the Commanders will represent in the next decade. So, fan, stay tuned. The coming weeks may bring twists, announcements, and trades that shake the foundation of the team. But until then, what we can do is keep demanding, debating, rooting, and holding on to hope. Because the rebuild has already begun, and the future, with or without Ekler, will be decided by those who aren't afraid to change the game. If you want to keep up with this new phase of the Commanders closely, with analysis, opinions, and the voice of the fan, subscribe now to Commanders Fan News Today. Hit that like button, turn on the bell, and share with a friend who also believes the turnaround has begun. See you in the next video. And remember, this is Washington, and here, no one takes us down easily.